Hi everyone and welcome back to SGTV. So today we are joined by Dan Lewin and Gary Guest from Lewin Electrical. You've made the great distance from Leicester all the way to Tamworth to come and talk to us.
Such a long way.
Yeah, but the main reason you guys are here today is you're doing CPD training upstairs with our facilities. And I understand it involves some of the smart tech side of things. So first of all, I just want to ask, what's made you want to come in and do your CPD training with us and on smart tech?
We had the opportunity with Neil. We've known Neil for quite a while now. He's been out on site to us, and we've got a little bit of report. But obviously, we need to progress the business, whether it's smart tech, whether it in whatever form the company needs to go. We need to get the training and the accreditations behind us of some kind, whether it's CPD, whether it's a formal accreditation of anything like that. So it's just to make a progression.
Yeah.
Really.
And you need CPD training to basically not in the sense of the word, but to tick boxes to progress, don't you?
Yes.
It's a confidence thing as well, because we've not installed a lot of it, so we want to make sure that we're doing things properly.
Yeah.
As well.
So you've been in today learning not only about smart tech, but particularly Scolmore's range of smart tech, which is Click Smart Plus.
That's right. Yeah.
So how have you found that?
We was impressed with it.
Yeah, very, very impressed with the product.
Yeah.
So easy, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks good as well. You could picture it in your own house, and it look nice. Like look out of place in the house, like the PIRs that you imagine now or you see now, big bulky things. These like little delicate things, and like they look really nice.
I know you said you wanted to progress anyway with CPD in the business, but is that something that's been led by yourselves, thinking that's the kind of trajectory we need to be going on, or are you getting asked for this kind of thing more?
Yeah, it's really both, isn't it? Really, because you get the question every now and again. It's like, we want to do this, we want to put this smart, we want to put this Alexa stuff in, we want to do this, we want to go to Philips Hughes. So it's like, okay, let's find something that is a reasonable price and decent quality, and we'll start pushing that if people start asking.
It's quite easy to install as well.
With what we've seen today, yeah.
Does it open up a different, I mean, it's different products, but does it open up a different sort of clientele? Because with a lot of domestic installers, you'd be doing rear wires, consumer units, changing face plates, but with the smart stuff, you could be going into lots of different scenarios.
It will tend to bring in a higher end of client, so to speak. It's not that we're looking for that high end of client. We wouldn't say no to it, but it leads in it's a progression from...
For your business itself, and quite a natural progression.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it could lead from domestic work to progressively move it into commercial industry.
So could you walk us through some of the scenarios that you've had the intention of being able to install these products in, and maybe some that you've learnt today?
It's just mainly people wanting to control stuff from the phones and not being tech savvy enough to understand what the client wants. But now we've seen the product, we've done the training, we understand it. And yeah, it's not as hard as we first thought. So
A good scenario is that you could use it for security.
Yeah.
Like when you're not in that, you could be on holiday and you can control what's going on in your house.
It's a step on from the Ring product that's out there. So it's a major progression from that. Because obviously you've incorporated that into your own doorbells, but also it's progressing into the phone, into the house, so you can use everything. So like Gary says, it's the security issue. So if somebody walks past, it picks up, all the lights come on.
Do you think there's much of a market for it for guys like yourself who are running a business? Because a lot of the big brands that you see on the telly, advertised on TV and radio and places like that, they're often aimed at not necessarily an installer, but maybe a homeowner who can just plug something in and go. Whereas with Click Smart, we have that kind of side of things, but we also have things that you can hardwire in and really do a lot with So do you see that there's still a lot of room there for guys like yourself to take that technology on board?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, especially, like we say, we're getting more and more questions asked about the smart stuff now as well. So the growth's out there, with especially domestic mainly, isn't it? It's like the growth's out there because the amount of questions we're getting asked. You know what I mean? And it's nice to come on this course and like
we can have an answer for
proper definitive answers as well. You know what I mean? Because like people think wireless and they think you just stick something on a wall.
We both sat there looking at the product this morning, and it was like, it says wireless. So how's it operating? Because obviously, end of the day, you need to have with a socket. You need to have the power to work the socket. It's it was the understanding of the wireless side is
Accessories.
Yeah, through the app and allowing you to operate it wirelessly, not being supplied wirelessly. That's what it was sort of confusing a little bit, but now
once you get your head around it,
Well, now we've got our head around it.
Some electricians off because they probably think we'll be able to work at this rate.
Yeah.
Everything's going wireless, we don't need it anymore. But you do need the hard wiring behind it all.
But you said earlier, behind camera, if he can do it, then anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really.
No. I will put it past you.
Yeah. You mentioned about it might open the doors to some different kind of clientele. So, you're doing mainly domestic and a bit of light commercial, is that
Yes,
right, currently?
it is, yes.
So what sort of clientele do you think this is going to open up? Would it be sort of, you could be tailoring this towards care homes? Talk us through that.
Yeah, obviously we have dealt with care homes in the past, but this conversation hasn't cropped up with those. But now, if we get back in, it might help us get back in the door with certain chains of care home, because we can now offer this system.
Recommendations, can't we?
Yeah.
And that's one of the important things, I think, about CPD that maybe some people would overlook. Some people will think, right, it's just a box, I need to tick this to get from A to B. But like you said, you've come here today with a bit of knowledge prior to this. You've gained more knowledge, and now you're aware that this could sort of open up more doors, more opportunities. That's potentially more business. That's a great way to scale your business, just by keeping up with how things are going, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it might not be for everyone. There's nothing wrong with sticking with what you're good at, what you know, because there's always going to be a market for that.
But you're then blinkered to whatever else is happening in the world.
If you don't open yourselves up to this kind of thing, you may fall behind to businesses like yourself.
You've definitely got to open up to this kind of thing because it's the way things are going at the end of the day. So I think, probably not in a few years' time, but I reckon a lot of people will be using smart technology going forward. It's not going to disappear. So if you don't get on board with it, you're going to miss the boat. Simple as that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. So after doing the CPD training today, how confident do you feel about going out and fitting, not necessarily our stuff, we'd prefer you to fit our stuff, obviously, because it's the best.
The good thing is,
your stuff's easy, isn't it?
And you've got a support system here as well. So if we do struggle to start with, which I'm sure we'll find some glitches or something we don't 100% understand, but you've got a good support system here, a good support network. So at the end of an email or at the end of the phone at the end of the day. So
next time we have a site meeting or a site survey at a client's house, and they start talking about wanting to change light switches and accessories, we'll most likely start pushing into this technology, because obviously it helps them in the long run.
Yeah.
Especially with energy costs the way they are at the moment.
Yeah, that's not going to, I don't see that improving anytime soon, not for us anyway. You mentioned about the support system. Obviously, we take a lot of pride and effort into making sure we've got a support here at Scolmore for contractors like yourselves using our products. So do you think that would help you potentially earn? And what I mean by that is some people, when they've talked about whether it's smart security, CCTV, anything like that, I know a lot of people might shy away, because if they were to have some kind of maintenance contract where they're charging a customer X amount, small percentage just to come out and keep on top of things, if they've not got the support from the manufacturer behind them, it might just think, you know what, I'm just going to steer clear of that. But knowing that you've got support behind you, do you think that's something else you could diversify your business with by offering this kind of thing?
It's an area that we want to go into, providing maintenance contracts of any kind, whether it's on a domestic basis or whether it's a commercial basis. So, and if we've got obviously we will start using your products on a more regular basis. We will, if we require it, we will get on the phone, even on site, which is not the best thing to do in front of the client, but it's things you're going to need to do.
Yeah.
If it can get you the information that you need there and then.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean,
No.
I don't know if you've been in the same position where you may have had a gas engineer come out, he's on the phone to the manufacturer saying, oh, there's a part with this. That doesn't make me feel unconfident. That's the opposite. I'm thinking, well, this guy is in communication.
Exactly, you've got to know what they're talking about on the other end of the phone as well.
Yeah,
So
you
it's not
know
like,
that they're keeping up to date with things.
Yeah.
And you hear this term all the time of passive income now. Everyone wants passive income because we all want to be able to earn without having to get up and do stuff. And I don't see that as a bad thing, providing you are there if need be. It's not like you're going to be ripping people off loads and loads each month.
No.
I don't think there's any issue. It's insurance at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're charging a customer or multiple customers a small percentage each month or whatever contract you deal out to give them peace of mind that if anything goes wrong, you're there at the call, you can come resolve that issue.
24 hours a day.
Yeah, and with how technology is moving at the minute, I think that's becoming quite a common thing, no matter what sort of product or industry you're working with. But yeah, so that's something we like to sort of make our customers aware that we are here at the end of the phone or an email.
You don't get that from other manufacturers. Yes, they do supply technical advice, but they don't like to push that they've got the technical advice or a technical helpline. At the end of the day, it's something they like to keep to themselves.
Yeah.
But you're out there. You want to let people know that if you've got a technical issue.
I think you've probably answered my question. I wanted to say, do you think there's any kind of smart tech versus traditional products, or do you think that it's just going to be working pretty well together going forward and you can dip in and out?
Yeah, I think it'll work parallel with each other, to be honest. I can't see any issues.
You're going to want the tech. You've got the tech savvy people out there who's going to want automation on everything of some kind, and then you've got the traditional person that just wants to go and flick a light switch on, or is happy to not have a smartphone or just use a smartphone to send texts, where like a tech savvy person will be all over it.
They're getting more up to speed with this kind of thing now, and there's going to be more demand. And but it's good to have you both come in and talk to us. We're going to be doing a couple of other episodes with you guys, so that's one for our audience to check out. We're going to be talking to one of your T learners, is that right? So keep an eye out for that episode, and we'll be going into depth, not only on what it's like to have an apprentice or T learner, but also we wanted to talk about the responsibilities from both ends on that. So that's an episode to keep an eye out for. Dan, Gary, I want to thank you both for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm glad you enjoyed your training here at Scolmore.
Thanks for the hospitality.
Yes.
More than welcome anytime. And anyone else who's interested in our CPD training, we've got quite a lot of different courses, so please get in contact and we will get you set up with whatever it is you need. As always here at SGTV, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button below to check out more videos from us all here at Scolmore Group, and we'll see you next time.